am.
Welcome. This is the May 7th, 2026 Essex Park School District R3 Board of Education special meeting. It is now 5:15 p.m. This meeting is called to order. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please go to board roll call.
Director Furry,
Here.
Director Shockett,
Here.
Director Wiederski,
Here.
Director Wiss.
Here. Moving on, approval of agenda. Board members have an agenda before you. At this time, I'll take any comments or amendments to the current agenda. Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda? I move to approve the agenda. Do we have a second?
The second.
We have a motion and a second. Chris, please connect to board roll call.
Director Furry,
Aye.
Director Shockett,
Aye.
Director Wiederski,
Aye.
Director Wiss.
I spirit vote. Agenda approved. Moving on to agenda item 2, interviews. Each candidate will have 15 minutes to answer questions from the board. First candidate this evening will be Sarah Tucci. Welcome and thank you for applying. Sarah, if you could join us, please. Thank you, Sarah. Welcome. Just a reminder, it will be a 15-minute interview. Each board member will ask a question. Can you introduce yourself first before we start, or you go right into it?
I can do a quick introduction. I'm Sarah Bertucci. Currently I have a senior and a ninth grader in the district. Love young people, love schools. It's what my whole career has been. So I'm excited, really excited to be here to be able to possibly join you all. Thanks for having me.
So our first question is, why do you want the position of board member in this district?
How much time do you keep myself monitored? So why do I started by saying just how much I love young people. And I just have a very deep belief that there is brilliance and genius within every single person. And I think that an effective district focuses on lifting that up for every child. Obviously I have deep investment with my own children, neighbors, being here in this district. I'm excited to be able to contribute in this way. I've never been on the school board before. And so I feel like I've played nearly every other role in that education system. I've been reading up on policy and governance. And I will say that when I was in grad school, when I was taking a course on assessment, my professor told me, "You're the only student I've ever had who gets this excited about assessment." And so I feel very excited about the role the board plays in terms of setting the ends and the policies, and then finding effective, valid, and reliable ways to monitor it. So that feels like a really exciting challenge.
Thank you.
All right, can you please describe the board's role as it relates to the superintendent's role in the district?
So the superintendent is the one employee of the board. The board and the superintendent have, different areas of focus. I just named the board sets policy and ends and monitoring. And I'd also say, I think it's an important role for the board to play in terms of community outreach and communication, bringing voices to the table. And then in terms of the superintendent is the leader of the district day to day. And the board's job is to, I think, empower and support the superintendent to do their job. To me, in the same way that I say that I believe in the brilliance and genius of every young person, I believe that about every adult as well. And so supporting, and I think in particular with David coming in as a new superintendent, that will be really important. And then, you know, if the superintendent is doing something that's not aligned with policy or is not getting to the ends that have been stated, then the conversation, you know, initially a conversation to say like, what's going on here? What do we need to change? How can we support, you know? And then eventually, in a worst case scenario, you have to make some really tough decisions. But I feel really good and experienced as a supervisor, and that like I know how to coach people from their strengths and do collaborative problem solving if things aren't going well. So is that fully the answer? Okay. Thanks.
Describe the kind of relationship you want to have with your fellow board members.
I wrote about this some in my letter of interest and application. Almost always when I've been in a leadership position, it has been a team of people. And I love being part of a leadership team. And so, I mean, maybe it was like relationship with other board members, was that?
What kinds of relationships?
Yeah, I mean, so I'd say fundamentally trusting. I think trust is built through like shared work. I think that's like the best way that you ever build a team. And so the board obviously has shared work that we're doing, that you all are doing together. And then curiosity, I think is another really important factor to me in relationships with my colleagues, peers, team members. I think that, you know, all four of you and whoever gets selected as the fifth member of the board, bring unique experience, perspective, insight. And I think that a very well-functioning board or leadership team is drawing from everyone's strengths, asks a lot of deep and critical questions to make sure that like the team is all aligned with what we're working on, is really like making sure that we all are checking our own perceptions and experiences and biases. And I think that's part of the value of the team. I mean, I hope that it's fun. And I mean, I think I would just say that like, you know, I think part of why I'm an educator, part of why I'm interested in this role is I am like love and am fascinated by people. And so my hope is that if I were to have this position, I would know each one of you in terms of what's important to you, how you operate, why you chose to be on this board. And so I think like having relationships that are both fun and where we get to share our unique experiences and expertise. And I'm checking the time. I saw that I like answered those first two questions very quickly. And so that I see that I have a little more time, I just want to say a little bit more to that. I think what I can bring in terms of relationships individually and amongst the board is the real expertise that I have developed skill-wise over the last, especially like 12 to 15 years of my career, has been around facilitation and coaching, and, but coaching in terms of like leadership coaching, facilitation. And so I believe that I have a lot of strategies and tools and like mostly the genuine interest to be able to pull forward what everybody has to contribute and work through conflict when conflict comes up. I am somebody who would like I think I wrote this in my letter too. I often joke that feedback is my love language. And I believe that any piece of feedback, positive, critical, questioning, is a tremendous gift. And so I would say if you all were to be working with me on the team, I want you to know that my door is always open. I am always interested in hearing feedback, questions, critique. And I am able and willing to work through anything that comes up. I know that nobody chooses to be on the school board and dedicate this amount of time if you don't care about kids. And then I'd say the last thing is, in terms of like, as I get to know each of your individual strengths, areas of expertise, I think I can offer a lot of perspective and experience across like all kinds of different educational philosophies, practices, formations, curricula, all that kind of stuff. And so I think I can bring that if there are questions.
Yes, thank you. How did you help the board become more effective? You kind of.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess just to restate, I think, you know, I love assessment. I think I have a lot of knowledge and skillfulness in assessing like how well goals are being met. My undergrad degree was science, and so I love data. And so I think, you know, I'll just be able to, you know, contribute to any questions around monitoring. I think in terms of improve, there's so many things that are working and moving in the right direction. Like I think the strategic plan is wonderful. And so I guess in terms of like more effective, well, it's just continuing to follow the strategic plan. It's interesting because I wonder, like more effective would imply that I'd have a sense of what has been ineffective, which is hard for me to know if I wasn't, since I, you know, haven't been working with you all intimately. I think I would say that I think it is always worthwhile to have more opportunities for people to understand what the district is doing, what the board's role is. And so I think effectiveness in the job of a school board member includes communication education. And so like when I'm at my kids' sports games, I spend a lot of the time with other parents in the stands, answering questions they have about like, you know, my individual kid is struggling with this, or I don't understand this decision that got made at the high school or the district level, like what does this mean? And so I feel like I have informally been playing a role of helping people understand stuff that they might not understand. And so I think I can continue to do that. Okay. The project that I feel most proud of, that I've been able to participate in with the district was the development of the global outcomes. And basically, I mean, I did that in conjunction with the board. And I was able to do that because, in the previous job that I had before moving to Estes, my role was, in what's called district-wide systems change. It was a grant-funded initiative. And one of the main priorities was inclusivity and making sure that everybody felt welcome and was able to make their voice heard. And so the way that the neighborhood learning conversations, which were the starting point to the global outcomes being developed here, the way that that process initially got created was basically like a lot of conversations and collaboration. And the districts that I was in when I was doing that were both refugee resettlement locations. And so one of the major concerns in those districts was different languages, different cultures. How can we be sure that everybody feels welcome, has an understanding of what's going on, and can contribute what they're thinking? And so in setting up that process, I was able to have meetings with all the multilingual liaisons at the school, with the refugee resettlement organization that had, you know, access to other folks in the community and what they're struggling with. I was able to go to Boys and Girls Club and meet with parents there, and coffee shops and living rooms. And so we tested over and over the language that we use. Does this work across all 12 languages, and can be translated accurately? I had a really funny moment in the multilingual liaison office because one of the possible goals that people had identified was passion. And a number of the languages where they were trying to figure out the translation had a very you know, sexually intimate connotation to the word passion, you know? And so I think like it's those little kinds of things that can cause major misunderstanding. And so having gone through that process, I know how to design. I'll just wrap up real quick. And that process, I was so happy to be able to bring it here to Estes. And I don't know the number of districts that have used it because my colleagues and I presented on it many places, but I know of at least 7 districts around the country where it's been used, and it's been incredibly effective everywhere. I want to thank you. It's really an honor. It's an honor to be here, and I'm really grateful for the work that all of you do. And if I get the opportunity to join you, I would be thrilled to be able to do that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
To the second candidate this evening, Jennifer Redmond. Welcome. Thank you for applying. We're going to start by having you introduce yourself real quickly, and then each board member will ask one question in 15 minutes. We'll give you about a 3-minute warning. Perfect. All right. So you can start with introducing yourself.
Sure. My name is Jenny Robert, as Susie already mentioned. I live here in Estes Park, grew up here as well. So graduated from Estes Park High School along with my husband, and have 3 kids in elementary school right now.
Here's her first question. Why do you want the position of board member in this district?
So I'm interested in serving. I think it's an exciting time in our district, especially with our current superintendent leaving, and really helping to integrate our new superintendent with our staff and community and students. And so I'd love to be a part of that. I also think it's important to bring more parent perspectives to the board. As I mentioned, my kids are all in elementary school. I have one moving into middle school next year. And my youngest is in 3rd grade. So I've got several years left of being fully engaged in the district and really want to help ensure that not just my kids, but all students continue to have the opportunities and education needed to help them succeed in the real world. And so I want to bring that parent perspective, but I also bring leadership and governance experience. I did serve on the Lifelong Learning with Estes Valley Preschool Board for 4 years and was the president for 3 of those years. And for the last year, I've been a member of the District Advisory and Accountability Committee. And that's been great for me to just, I don't come from an education background, and so to just gain better insights into the district's goals, some of the challenges we've been facing as a district, and also just evaluating the performance measures and seeing how our strategic plan and the goals and priorities we set in that have benefited us, and seeing that growth in academics over the last couple of years. And I want to really make sure that we continue that progress. I've seen it personally in the children, and I think having that parent experience firsthand of what's working well and where there's some areas for improvement is important to bring. So I'm excited to try and bring that.
Thank you.
Could you please describe the board's role as it relates to the superintendent's role in the district?
Yeah, so my understanding for the board is we're more at that 30,000 foot level. So setting good policies, setting the clear expectations, what are the district's goals, setting those accountability measures, and monitoring those over time as well. But then the superintendent is more handling those day-to-day operations and working in partnership with the board to make sure, they're getting the resources for staff and teachers to carry out the outcomes the board would like to see, but they're more handling the how are we going to do this and the day-to-day with the schools themselves.
Just describe the kind of relationship you want to have with your fellow board members.
Yeah, so I think in my professional life, I work as an engineer and I work with clients all over the country to solve pretty complex problems. And so when I look at what I do in my professional life, I think a lot of that carries over into working with the board, because I work with pretty large, diverse teams, people with various skill sets and backgrounds and perspectives. And so my job in leading those teams is to listen to those perspectives, collaborate, and analyze data to make sure we're bringing all of the input we received from stakeholders, the public, legislators, clients, and our team, and really having better informed decision-making. But it's also my job as that leader to come into that and make my own decisions about what's best for the overall problem and the issues at hand, and making sure that everything we heard informs my decision and how we move forward to achieve the objectives. And I think a board operates much the same way, in that we're all going to feel differently on different topics, but at the end of the day, we have to work together. And regardless of the outcome, if it's something I wanted or didn't want, it's my job to continue forward and work as a cohesive board for the betterment of the district. So.
How did you help the board become more effective?
I'd say just in my more recent experience with the board, I'd say we've been pretty effective in that, experiencing firsthand of seeing the academic growth that we've had has been great. So I would really just want to build on the effectiveness of the board. Having grown up here and having 3 kids that are involved in every activity I am everywhere. I have access to a lot of different families and community members through a lot of that. And so I think it's important to be visible as a board member and to really listen to community members, not just the loudest, but, you know, a lot of diverse perspectives and backgrounds. And I think that, you know, would be valuable to, again, bring all of that to the board. So that's what I try to contribute.
Good. Great, thank you very much.
Should we go back down?
No, I think we're gonna bring
Okay.
it back in, so, but we'll actually sit this table for now, but. Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 3, action items. Agenda item 3.1, the board may take action to appoint a director to the vacant director's seat. Is there a motion?
I move that the board appoint Jennifer Roberts as Director of the Board of Education of Estes Park School District.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Any board discussion?
I would just like to say that I'm super grateful that we had two amazing candidates step forward with the desire to serve the community and the district, and that I hope that both of you will continue to do so. And just thank you so much. We have the same situation with our superintendent candidate where we had great candidates and difficult decisions, and I think we have that again today. So thank you so much.
I just feel the same way. Thank you for stepping up, supporting our students, our district, and I'm glad to see fellow parents. About, even though we're busy with kids also.
I would also agree with that. It is really hard to put yourself out there, so I appreciate both of you doing that and hope for continuing input and contributions by both of you. Any other board comment? Chris, please conduct the roll call.
Director Furry,
Aye.
Director Shockett,
Aye.
Director Widerski,
Aye.
Director Wist.
Bye.
The ayes carry the vote and the motion passes. So we will move on to agenda item 4, which will have the newly appointed member, Jennifer Roberts, take the oath of office. So, Ms. Roberts, please raise your right hand and say after me. I, Jennifer Roberts,
I, Jennifer Roberts,
do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will faithfully perform
that I will faithfully perform
the duties of the office of school director
the duties of the office of school director
as required by law,
as required by law,
and will support the Constitution of the United States,
and will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the laws made pursuant thereto.
and the laws made pursuant thereto.
Congratulations, Treasurer. Moving on to election of the officers. Is there a motion for the office of Vice President?
I move that the board appoint Brenda Wiss as, I move to nominate Brenda Wiss as the office of the vice president.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any more discussion?
Thank you. I would agree on it. Take up this responsibility. Yeah, we missed it greatly. She's a wonderful board member and hopefully I can. So.
I have no doubt. Any other board comments? Chris, please make the board roll call.
Director Furry,
Aye.
Director Shockett,
Aye.
Director Ruderski,
Aye.
and Director Wiss. Sorry.
Ayes carried the vote, the motion passes. Moving on to agenda item 6, upcoming meetings. The board's work session is May 12, 2026, 3:30 p.m. here in the admin building. Moving on to agenda item 7, adjournment. Or never make a motion to adjourn.
I made a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I second.
Great, we're adjourned, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.